Hello and welcome guys. My name is Soham and I'll be your host for this evening. We are in episode 2 of the Great Indian Esports Raffle podcast, which is amazing. Episode 1 on the Yusafa podcast, we've received great feedback and I really appreciate your comments. I'm sure that we are going to present a much better podcast this time and for the next one. Talking about this podcast, we had two guests, Sarvesh over Deokar and Anand over Tapadia. If you don't know them already, Sarvesh is part of the Red Bull team for Esports, who has a lot of great ideas planned for the scene. And Anand is filled with a lot of work in esports, starting from Mac Gaming, his organization, to being a team manager, caster, streamer, and a tournament organizer. I'm sure we have talked and covered a lot of topics here. We started with talking about a new happening, that is ESL's plan for this year. Then we even talked about a thing that I don't think is well known in the community right now, the Twitch content creation plan for 2018. Then we have had a little hints and a cryptic message from Sarvesh on Red Bull's plan for India. We even talked about the Cobx Tourney and what to expect from them. In the second half, we then proceeded to talk about the story, what they had to speak regarding their experience in the esports scene. Warhawk gave a very deep analysis of what he had to go through, the struggle that he faced, the clear vision that he had from coming from a fresh postgraduate student to blasting into the scene, honestly. And Sarvesh, his story starts from college to how he got into pub storms and went on to create one of the more, I would say, popular phenomena in video gaming, that is the pub storms, which are community gatherings for esport events. We even have a final their remarks and advice for future people. So stay tuned, and without further ado, I now bring you the Great Indian Esports Raffle, Episode 2. Alright, I'm here with Sarvesh Deokar and Anand Tapadia. Anand, thanks for coming on the podcast.
Hi Soham, it's nice to be here.
So Anand, would you like to go ahead and introduce yourself, your past with esports in India and stuff?
Yeah, okay. So I'm Anand Tapadia, based out of Pune, and back in 2015 we started this gaming organization, you could say esports organization called Mac Gaming. And back in the days, we used to do some small online tournaments. We did a LAN event as well, and we also had the opportunity of managing good teams like Piece of Cake from Bangalore, as well as our best was Invisible Wings with Tanzania Gaming. So we had about a year and a half worth of run in esports, and throughout this podcast, probably I'll be able to share a few things I've experienced in this industry. And currently, I'm back to working with my dad as of now, and that's about it. Maybe in the future, I will think of getting something back again in esports.
That's awesome. And Sarvesh, thanks for coming on the podcast.
Yes, my pleasure. Hope you're doing good.
Yeah, same. You too. Would you like to go ahead and introduce yourself?
So, hi, my name is Sarvesh Deokar. I've been doing a lot of things here and there. I started up with Barcraft United with my friend and partner Rane back in 2014, and since then we've been successfully So yes, I started back in 2014 with my friend and partner Lauren Halpert. Since then we've been Wolf contractors successfully for 4 years now.
Okay.
And we have done TIs and pop storms all over the world. And last I checked, it was 285 worldwide.
Okay.
So that's it from the past. And currently, me and my team, we are spearheading Red Bull Esports and Gaming in India. And let's see what future beholds.
Alright, that's awesome. So let me just lay out a plan for what we have for the next 1 hour for our talk on esports. So what we are going to do is divide the podcast in 2 parts, where we first talk about a lot of happenings and major news that have struck the Indian circuit, and we'll present our thoughts and opinions on it. And then we shall talk about the stories that these two people have and their experience in the Indian esports scene more personally. So 2018, I believe, is going to be a very crucial year for esports in India, as is all years. But this year is going to be taken at another level that is going to be unprecedented in every form whatsoever. So our first story for the evening is based around ESL and how ESL differs from what they have in India from last year, and I believe Sarvesh is going to be of great help to elaborate on that. So, Sarvesh, what do we expect from ESL this year?
So yes, I guess like ESL is done with their trial phase in India as of now, and this is the year they go big with like back-to-back announcements. They're doing like 4 major tournaments now, I guess, with the ESL Premiership and Northeast Esports Cup and the Legends Cup being the top things. And last I checked with the team, it was like they also plan to do something around Overwatch, if I'm not wrong.
I see.
So that's something to look out for. And plus the prize pools, they are ranging up to CR, and 1 crore for Indian esports is huge. That's the latest trend out there.
Okay, that's pretty interesting. Anand, what do you think about ESL's approach this year, like regarding the trials phase that, as Sarvesh elaborated, has been over, and how they are going to go ahead with the tournaments? What do you think about this as an
So like ESL started, I think, doing the tournaments in 2015, the big ones, Premiership ones, I think, or 2016. I'm not sure, but it was towards the end of what we had, and I was quite glad actually. And I myself, ESL Pune, I think, was the first ESL event I attended, and I think it was a good one and a good starter. And I've always visited Taiwan Cup, and like Nordwin did a very good job, I would say, in bringing those they were small compared to what ESLs we are used to seeing on Twitch and everything, but it was happening, and it was just a joy to be there. So, and now they've said that they have done with the trials and moving further. I mean, I'm not quite sure and involved right now in the industry that I know what they're coming up with, but whatever it is, I'm quite sure it will excite the Indian esports audience further.
Indeed. You're right in saying that. So I guess that's about it from ESL's side. What we have next is a more important thing that we are going to announce for the first time, I believe, to a public audience. That is Twitch and its content creation plan. So again, we'll have Sarvesh elaborating, I believe, on this. So what is this about? Can you just get us from the beginning? We have no idea of what we have to expect from Twitch this year. And regarding a content creation plan of what they are saying, where do we begin from here?
Okay, so I guess Twitch has its fair bit of struggle, but they are back. Like this year, I see a lot of new streamers out there. You have Dino, you have Risey, like, you know, mentoring young kids or streamers out there, helping them set up the stream.
I believe the community has also noticed increase in efforts by Twitch India in promoting themselves. Definitely.
Exactly. And you know, even like without a server, these guys are out there, like 100, 500 viewers. And they're trying, okay? It's not that they're not trying. So we need to give it for them. And as far as I know, even we at Red Bull, we're trying to support a lot of streamers. But, you know, mentoring them or like helping them with their content creation ideas or supporting them with whatever resources that we can as of now. But then streaming in India is not like not going to look back as of now, but it's only going to rise in numbers and viewers,
Yeah. So regarding helping the streamers, and how exactly is this help going to proceed in terms of resources, in terms of time investment? How does it look ahead?
Yeah, so as far as I know, like Twitch has its own mods and admins and ground staff in India as of now, and what these guys are looking forward to, all they want you is to stream. They want you to stream good games, good content out there for the viewers, for which they go as low as helping you set up the streams, configure your OBS. You know, they even design overlays if you need.
Okay, so what you're talking is a very intricate plan that Twitch has regarding a more personal approach to taking to many streamers and getting hands-on experience and promoting them as we go. So what can you say is the aim? What is the final goal that Twitch wants from India and from its content creators?
See, India is a huge audience, okay? That's one thing we cannot deny. Definitely. And I guess what Twitch wants is looking forward to in the coming year is like provide a viable content creation approach to the gamers, so that every gamer who is esports ready or is an esports enthu is also good at creating content at an international level. So somewhere down the line, it's a viable career choice also for him, so that he can also survive on his own using best of both skills.
Indeed, I would say that making a survival on esports alone is a very difficult job as it is in India. This should definitely take it a few steps further. So, Anand, as you have been a streamer and a caster for a year, I believe, for many major tournaments in India, and you're offering from Mac Gaming casting services as well. What do you think about this?
Yeah, I mean, so as Sarvesh told us about the content plan, and I was just thinking about it back in, like, I mean, it's not that far apart, but 2015, we started off with like knowing zero about how to make content, and it was just the initial like help or whatever we required to get it done. But once you know how to do it, you can just start doing it. So I think this provision of content creation by Twitch will actually help people like give it more time and like streaming more time and make it a viable career hopefully sometimes in the future. And also so there's a situation, not situation, it's just how India is. So I remember lot of us have been grown up just playing in the cyber cafes. We did not have our own computers back in the days, and we have to like spend hours and hours in a cyber cafe. So an average Indian gamer is a cyber cafe player, and in cyber cafes, the equipment, the internet, it's not in your control. And also the infrastructure in India in terms of speed is improving right now in the past 2-3 years. So it's easier to stream also. Like data plans are getting unlimited and etc. Those factors come in. And I think if Twitch helps, this is the right moment, I think, to help the Indian streaming audience. Yeah.
Even above being able to stream, it is also an audience which can watch streams increasing, I would say, from the infrastructure.
Yes.
But
yes.
keeping infrastructure in mind, I believe a lot of Indians have problem with Twitch as servers. Their ISPs do not route properly to Twitch servers.
That's
and
true.
You, having been a streamer and caster, how did your history with Twitch and YouTube evolve, I would say?
So I think it was so we had I'll tell you about my internet status back there. We had an unlimited line. It was a leased line, but it was a wireless leased line, and I was getting it from another office of mine, and we were just like wirelessly linking. So we used to have a lot of drops between that link itself only to stream. So we started streaming on Twitch, and I think our first tournament on Twitch was Double Damage. And at that time it was working fine, and the audience on Twitch also you get at that time was high. But then as YouTube gaming started evolving, and they provided different type of features and everything on YouTube to do all of this, because on YouTube YouTube has more audience than Twitch obviously, and just it's not game watching audience yet, but YouTube gaming is what they're doing. And we tried our next tournament streaming on YouTube, and it was fantastic. Like people on mobile internet could actually see us stream properly, so that was a win. And we completely shifted over from Twitch to YouTube within like 2-3 months. We did not even give Twitch a try because we were in a bandwidth like constrained situation back then, but YouTube worked really nice for us.
Indeed, I think this is a story that many streamers and casters can ascribe to, moving from Twitch to YouTube when YouTube gaming started. So I would believe a technical approach to the growth of Twitch is also required by Twitch India. Do you have anything to add on that, Sarvesh?
So I see, like, a lot of people out there have migrated to YouTube as of now because of the poor ISP connection or rerouting issues, but that's something which is region specific, and there's nothing that can be done if you have a bad ISP in your state or your city. But then from a content creator's perspective, I feel like Twitch is much more rewarding if done right, other than YouTube. So YouTube can increase your user base, it can give you more audience, it could possibly give you more subscribers, which is good for your health, like the CPM or the views per minute count. Okay, that's pretty good on YouTube, but Twitch is much more personal. It allows a pretty neat one-on-one interaction with your viewers, and as I said, it can get very rewarding on Twitch. So
it's a trade-off.
I agree that. So now I see how Twitch is evolving. So that time we did not have any representative of Twitch as such in India who could help us out in streaming and sorting our issues out. We used to actually contact like small
Vikram, I
streamers
believe.
and small. Yeah, I've contacted Vikram on his like messaging this thing also so many times of small issues which I face. And the good thing is that he replies, and so that is what I really like the community and how we've evolved in helping each other as well.
That's
So
the big progress that India's seen.
back then Twitch, there was nobody to help us out, so we just figured YouTube was done. But now I see how Twitch India is growing. It's really I mean awesome to see they're helping out. They're going themselves out to all these gamers and probably helping them stream better also in the future. And this content creation plan, like I did not know about this till you told me right now, Sarvesh. And back then I could see this as a problem. It used to consume a lot of our time, and sometimes we used to just give up saying okay, it's not happening. Like it was regarding content or it was regarding ISP issues also, but we used to have a lot of problems. And I think it's 2018 now, and I think those problems have slightly been in a good direction now. They're going away slowly.
They are being solved. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, before we move on to the next topic, one final but huge aspect of this: how is this plan going to be executed? What are the intricacies of it? What are the details? What should we expect from it on a grounds level? Sarvesh, take it away.
So yeah, so coming back to the ground level, okay. So somewhere down the line, I guess like non-endemic brands like Red Bull, Doritos, or even Pringles, okay, are pretty much looking forward to the esports scene all around the world, and even in India, it's the same approach for us. So we look forward to partnering with a lot of major broadcasting avenues like Twitch, then tournaments or we have already associated with ESL since a long time. So we look forward to developing a much more of a grassroots aspect wherein the gamer himself has direct access to the services. Like Ankit Jain, who's the country rep for Twitch in India, the partnerships manager, is pretty much of down to earth when it comes down to helping people. And last conversation what I had with him, it's all basic approaches right now. He's as much as he's traveling all around the country helping out streamers, from even picking up the best hardware for your stream, how to build that PC, and that's huge because there's no one out there who knows so much about Twitch or even streaming in general.
And that's just now going to twofold itself with the entire plan as it is.
So this guy, he has done his homework. His team is streamer ready. All of them have been streamers since a long time. And they're out there for your community. Every time you message Preet, Neha, Dinu, Raisi, any of these folks, and you just ask them questions, these guys are all on the ground zero helping you. How to fix your ISP, how to reroute, or what are the best ISPs in your region.
Okay.
How to make an overlay, how to set up those fade animations and everything. And trust me, having a friend with you on a TeamViewer or Skype call helps you a lot more than a WikiHow.
I think that is something that Anand could relate to on a personal level.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so I think that is about it for what we have to say regarding Twitch and its new content creation plan. We look forward to what they have to showcase when they shall unravel this entire plan in officiality. So, story, the next one. The Cobx tournament at an SEA level. So that is basically going to be a 1 CR tournament, if I'm not wrong, on Dota and Counter-Strike. And it is going to be at an SEA level. So we are going to have teams like Minuski, TNC. All of them participate. I'm sorry, I do not know the names of the Counter-Strike team. And the highlight for this tournament are going to be two things for me. One is that the organization is an Indian one. And secondly, we have LAN finals in India. And I think that's huge. That's just huge. So let's talk, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. I think we should be a bit more pragmatic. Let's talk about the past history of these organizers. So Sarvesh, I believe you know these guys, Cobx. What do you have to tell about them? Go ahead.
So not that I know Cobx personally, or it's just pretty much of mutual friends. Like Ronak Sen, who's been India's Dota 2 prodigy, has been pretty much active in the Cobx or the Signify, Team Signify. And even Anand has his fair deal of experience with Ronak and his team. And let's just say post signing a few players from Aggressive 5, they are like the golden boys out there.
Yeah.
And with the latest addition of Jeet Kundra, I suppose
Oh yeah.
they could do miracles in the local scene. But I'm just rooting, like, at some corner of my mind, like, if they could perform a miracle out there on the Southeast Asia level as well, because this is the team that we always needed. Okay, like all these years shuffling in and out, like as we know, the Dota 2 scene hasn't been stable for quite some time.
Yeah.
And after like 2 or 3 years of shuffle, you finally have a dream team now. And
India
let's see how they perform.
Truly
Yeah.
India representative.
I'm quite excited for Signify, to be honest, because every now and then I keep talking to them what's happening, and like even though I don't actively watch all the matches, but while they did 2 international tournaments, I believe, in January, and I mean it's quite a progress thinking of Dota
Where
2
they've
team is
come
going,
from.
yeah, where they've come from, and now finally we've got 5-6 guys who know each other since a long time. And see, the problem in Dota 2 or most of these amateur esports gaming teams has been that shuffling. And I strongly believe, like any team, if it has to be successful, it needs to be stable first. And you cannot keep having constant roster shuffles or changes, because it kind of like breaks your flow. If you want to have a team, you have to believe in that these 5 people are going to get you there. And constantly changing that, it kind of puts in a break to that progress. Like there's no harm in changing, but it kind of puts a break to it, and then you have to restart again towards that goal. So
Indeed.
I believe in keeping it stable. So Signify do manage to at least keep it stable for 1 or 2 years, and maybe have an impact on the SCS scene. I think they will, hopefully.
Definitely. That is something that we all look forward as well-wishers for the Indian scene. So, regarding this tournament, coming back to it, what do we expect from it, Sarvesh?
So yeah, being a Southeast Asia level tournament, on like what I've read so far, I believe a lot of big faces or big teams are going to be a part of this. And like there like might be a chance wherein we see Mineski or like Fnatic just come down.
Yeah, that would be
For
big.
some-
Yeah, definitely.
And and then you have the boys you've seen grown up, you've seen the scene grown up, you've seen these people like age, okay, like even grow in height, because these are all growing years, and then suddenly you have your familiar faces, matching up with faces whom you've seen on Twitch, whom you've seen in game, or just players whom you idolize, or possibly Lodi, how they call it in the Philippines. But then yeah, it's good to see. It would be good to see, these faces battle it out on LAN.
Definitely.
On Indian side is what
On
I'm
Indian
Yeah, on Indian soil. Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm excited about.
Yeah, so Anand, what are your expectations?
Are there any announcements of where it's going to happen? Like
The
when
LAN
is it?
event, I don't think so. They haven't announced the date for the qualifiers as yet. But I believe only the thing that has been announced for now publicly as being
Is the
that
prize
it
money.
exists. Yeah, this tournament is now
Yeah,
going
there's
to
a tournament which is draft.
So I think that's about it for the Cobx. So our next one and final one, Red Bull's plan for India. So I think this is going to be a big one. So Sarvesh, why don't you just take it from here?
Oh, so trust me, this is not a big one.
Okay.
Because the Indian ecosystem is very small in itself. The quantity of like talent inside is pretty huge. There are a lot of people who are interested in esports and who want to pursue it full time. There is not enough of infrastructure apparatus for it to handle that much of traffic. So yeah, like we're just gauging the market as of now, and soon like we also plan, but not to enter esports completely. But as of now, it's just gauging the market, supporting a lot of upcoming talent in whatever way possible, and then like with like EXL coming in big this year, we hope to make a good change within the ecosystem.
I believe you cannot elaborate on that, which is fine. Yeah, so I think that's about it for the stories and what we have to say regarding the first half. So let's move on to the second half. So just to get a quick recap, The second half, we are going to talk about more in general on their stories, their pursuits, how they began in esports, how it has gone for them, and basically it's their story. And it is something that I believe every upcoming talent, every aspiring, journalist, writer, streamer, organizer, they would love to hear these, I believe. And so let's start with Anand. So, Mac Gaming, I believe you started the first tournament with the prize money from your own side, and then it quickly developed into something that you could keep for a much longer time than expected, and it rappelled into one thing from another. So,
Yeah.
how would you like to tell it? It's your story. Go ahead.
So we started off in. I'll just probably give you a background. I had just finished my post graduation, and I was coming back from Mumbai. So for like a month or two, I spent at my dad's business again, figuring it out what I want to do and etc. etc. So at that time, I thought, I mean, I still have, I'm still fresh, just out of the college. Let's give something what I want a try. And just out of that thought, I kind of took my dad's business on. I was doing it side by side, like it wasn't but a full involvement as I am right now. It was just probably managing websites and stuff like that. So okay, I got into Mac gaming. Then our first tournament was First Blood, and it happened in April. And before that, like 2 months, we were trying to figure out कि okay, करना तो है, but क्या करेंगे? Now we are calling ourselves Mac Gaming. Okay, we need to do something to at least start off. So back in the days, like they weren't, apart from I think Rage Quit, which was the only tournament which was going on quarterly or 4-5 monthly basis, I would say, or yearly. Back in the days, I don't know, Rage Quit 2 or 3 at that time we were. And I said, I mean, why not do a tournament? Because when I started out for Mac Gaming, I did not have any idea what esports industry is in India. I did not know any of the esports personalities or people who I know right now, like for the teams, the organization heads, etc., etc. And it was just a complete fresh start, and I did not know what I was getting into. So I said, okay, I'll give maybe 4 to 5 months of my life to this for starting, and let's see how it goes. If I'm able to monetize it or at least sustain. So my goal was to sustain, and whatever I get on top is kind of a bonus. So that was how I started off with for like a 4-5 month experiment. But then it turned out that after the first tournament, we were quite happy with the outcome. We got 128 teams competed, registered, and at that time it used to feel huge to get 128 teams online and playing it out. It was a week-long tournament. From evening we are sitting 4 to night 11 o'clock casting, calling people, managing teams, having Excel sheets, who's won, who's not, etc., etc. And we just kind of figured it out how to do a tournament, like registration, your ticket with Valve, and etc. All those like small things. We kind of started reading, and we did our first tournament. And then second tournament, we you can say up the game. It was just like, okay, abhi maine paisa dala hai, so I need to check what sponsorships we can get. So we tried hard. Like we were tryhards back then. Like, we used to send out like 20-30 random emails we used to get over the internet about these product companies or other gaming companies, you would say, who are in India, who are doing peripherals, who are doing anything like from headphones, keyboards, everything. So we just used to shoot mails saying that, hey, we have a proposition, etc., etc. Are you interested? And in the second tournament, we kind of raised some money, and we did the double damage tournament, which was again, I feel quite nostalgic thinking about it. In 2015, we did an online tournament between India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, and Nepal. So basically the subcontinent. And the hype, I used to feel the hype of like the final 6 which were there. And it was quite nice to have something like that, to be able to pull off that. We also you could say 2-3 Pune local magazines had our article out there. And it used to feel good that you could sponsor yourself with these brands and set up a tournament. So that was our So that's the time after the second tournament I thought, okay, maybe I should give this another year's shot. Let's see, let's check what I can do and everything. And then slowly and steadily we kind of like started approaching brands, people, and we approached G2A also back then, and we kind of had a very nice deal with them starting off. And at that time, it used to feel great. I mean, you're functioning now, you're getting a stable income, as well as you're doing tournaments every now and then. You're getting qualifiers also done. So slowly, we kind of had our tournaments growing, and not growing per se, but then we did
The LAN event?
no, then we did a college event, college sponsored event, you could say, for Ajinkya D.Y. Patil University. That was the Kavlin Cup in 2016, and that had a prize money of 2 lakhs. So at that time, I think on 2000 Jan of 2016. At that time, for us to give out that much prize money, as well as doing at that scale, it was quite nice. Executing the whole online event and getting all the content from college. Like I got a sponsorship from a design college who just wanted to reach out to the youth. That was his motive, and that's okay. Esports seems to be coming up. Let's do it. So it was an experience, like getting sponsorship from like people who have no idea in esports as well, and then educating them on where the industry is going, what growth is there, how many people play it. Like from scratch, we had to do it, and then finally got that sponsorship. And we did an event with 256 teams, which lasted like 3 weeks. Wow. It was like hectic, like 4 to again 11 in the night. We are like 6 of us, 7 of us sitting in the office, hosting games, casting games, streaming games. It was fun. And then after that, in May of 2016, we did our LAN event, which was Havoc at Phoenix over here in Pune. And that also, I think, being a LAN event, again, we were diving into something which we had no idea. LAN event and online event is a complete different ball game. Like, and that is why even if you manage to do a small LAN event, no, you realize, like whenever you see these Twitch streams or even ESL India for that matter, you realize how much work and how much effort goes in the sheer production of these things. And I'm really glad that ESL India, I really like the ESL India production for what the Indian audience is right now. And I mean, I'm glad it's happening. So Havoc was our first LAN tournament, and it was quite the scene, like to pull off that also. Like, so you must be remembering.
Yeah, I do remember. It was really nice.
That was the first. We got sponsored by Beyond Infinity also, and the owner had come down with it, and we had a FIFA tournament sponsored by him. So we had a ball of a time also doing that tournament. And in that period also, we were managing Invisible Wings. So in team management perspective, I would say we were first sponsoring POC, Piece of Cake, the boys from Bangalore, if you know. Like Akmej was there in that team, Raghu, and all those people. So at that time, it was a like you could say third or fourth team. There was Neckbreak. There was not Neckbreak.
Yeah, I do
Swaha.
think. Oh yeah.
Swaha. So same thing. Neckbreak, Swaha, Invisible Wings. They're the same clan, you could say. And the other one was Beyond Infinity, or first they were Invisible Wings, I think that time. And these guys POCs were like, they were trying to beat them, and it used to happen sometimes. So that's my first experience of managing a team, you could say. And we had a long distance management. Like we were from Pune, they were from Bangalore. We used to just come online, have Skype sessions with them, and also like we used to kind of sponsor them with their travel and staying and everything. And I just wanted the boys to go out and like not miss out the opportunity on playing on different lands, because the scene was growing back then. These guys were ready to try hard, and for like I think we were with them for a period of 6 months, from September 2015 till we did Invisible Wings. And it was a good run also for POC. We won the Lenovo India Gaming Week, and that was a prize money of 1 lakh back then. So it used to feel nice, like you could actually manage to win a title, though it was a small title, or it was an unknown organization, but whatever it was good. And after that, after a Piece of Cake, we were managing Invisible Wings with Transinica Gaming as well. So that was also the first time I started properly interacting with Ronak Sen, Crowley, and the rest of the boys, Darshan, Prophecy, and all those invisible boys. And it was we had a gaming house in at Mira Road, because Mira Road is where Crowley stays, and it was like decided that we could have a gaming house over there because of.
He's now a Lokhandwala boy, just saying.
Yeah, so if he's listening to this, I don't know what I told him that let's move out a bit niche, or you come to Pune, it will be better to manage. But he was quite stubborn, like knowing Ronak Sen, how he also. Hi Crowley, if you're watching. But anyways, so we got the house set up and all that at Mira Road. We got the computers in, and though we could say it wasn't the best facilities which was there, because we used to have problems like water wasn't there in that society and whatnot. So, anyways, we managed that for like around 4 to 5 months, and in that we did. I don't remember, with ESL India, I think we did ESL India Pune, and I don't exactly, Taiwan Excellence we did under that flag. So I think 2-3 big tournaments under the name of Invisible Wing. And so at that time, we used to ask these boys to stream, and that was the end of it, because we used to stream saying कि अरे हमने सब like stream, when we say we wanted to stream, we used to just switch on the PC and start streaming. But for them, like gamers, they're professional gamers. Their work should be how to play the game and not how to stream. So, and we were expecting them to stream. So that time I realized that these boys, they don't have the exact tools or what Sarvesh and we
Incentive,
spoke about.
you would say, rather.
Incentive also, and rather the content help, like how to get things done, which music you're allowed to play, which gets copyrighted, and basically stuff like that. So, and in that whole mix up or whatever confusion of how to stream, like these boys never stream properly, like you could say, and I don't blame them, because it was quite an effort to stream every day, considering that you used to have lag, used to not sometimes put the overlay properly. There were multiple changes here and there. So, I mean, those are the streaming issues we faced back then at Invisible Wings. And hopefully, as years come, that scene also will get sorted with people coming in to help streamers out, mainly. So, yeah, I think that's about it. And the last good tournament we did with Mac Gaming was the ROG Masters qualifier in September of 2016. And that was actually the last time I ever casted a Dota game and also hosted that whole tournament. So it's been a while, and I kind of miss it, like casting and doing everything. But I guess I'm not regretting the decision I made to shift from esports here, because there are some things which you got to do. So I'm just figuring them out, and hopefully I have a plan. And hopefully, if the plan works out, maybe in, I don't know, 3-4 years, I'll be able to come back into the esports industry. And by that time, the esports industry will have matured also, with all these big tournaments coming, organizations coming. There'll be a certain set of rules also, I hope, by that time, and it gets organized. Because working in the esports industry, I realized that people don't trust each other, or there's a certain as we say, masala, all of us masala means. It keeps happening, which shouldn't happen, but it keeps happening. So that is what I mean. It's always going to happen, like masala or whatever. It's always going to happen, but the frequency should reduce, I would say, over the years and as the industry matures. So yeah, that's about it from my side.
Okay, awesome. That story literally had everything. Person starts from nothing, ends up with a lot of connections, and above all, the level of contentness and happiness that was derived.
It was probably the best 1.5 years of my life. Like I would say, it was quite.
That speaks a lot for itself.
Starting from scratch and doing something what you love actually doing. It was a good run.
Definitely.
Shout out to Gopya. So I also all of you know who Gopya is, Siddharth Gopalkar. And so I'll just take another 2 minutes. So
go ahead.
How we started off with everything. So we came I made a Facebook post literally of things in Dota 2 India back then on, hey guys, I want to do a tournament. Anyone in Pune who wants to help? And through people, just Gopya and I met one fine day. And Gopya was so enthused about doing these things, and just evolving with the whole journey with him was fantastic. It was like I had a partner with me working, and kind of in the Mac Gaming office you have visited. Even Sarvesh has visited in Pune. It was like a family which we used to have, and one year, 1.5 year, it was quite awesome working with these guys who I worked with.
Definitely. I remember you were teaching me Dota from scratch, man. I owe that to you guys. Especially Gopya. So...
But you are a 2K scrub, so...
Let's not get into that. So yeah, that's quite the story, dude. That's quite the story. So... Sarvesh, what about you? Where do you want to start from?
Okay, I started my esports or competitive gaming journey at a very young age, I suppose. So I started playing online when I was 12 years of age. With games like Counter-Strike, Condition Zero, if that still qualifies as a game.
It does, it does. It's there in the hearts of everyone. Don't worry.
Yeah. Yeah, and then switching on and off to Minecraft, League of Legends, because my brother used to play a lot of League. But I always used to fantasize Dota. I've always been an FPS person at heart. Like FPS is my first choice every day. But then I used to be curious about all these lads playing Warcraft 3. Only to realize it could be my bread and butter one day. But yeah, I took up the tournaments and managing tournaments or adminning side of things when I was about 16, 17 years of age. With a small company based out of Mumbai, and back then they used to do a lot of stuff here and there with a lot of major brands, and then I had to call it off when I passed out of my college around when I was in 12th grade, and then it was I had to decide what I want to do with my life. But then I was prepping up for medical, so it was a tough choice, but it had to be made. I took up game design in Bharati Vidyapeeth Pune. And then since I had left adminning and hosting tournaments and everything, I was pretty bored, okay? Just sitting around with that humongous brain filled with ideas. And that's when I met Lauren. So I was pretty much into trading of Dota to couriers because I love couriers. I used to work hard to small time Photoshop gigs on Freelancer to just get those monies to buy couriers and everything. So I still remember the date. It was around 25th of March, 2014, when this young Canadian chap named Lauren Halpert had just posted a thing selling Platinum Baby Roshan and need a interested buyer, and that's how things started up. So I wanted to get a killer discount. That's why I wanted to talk to him personally to see if we can work out something. But that thing, the chat we had, ended up into one of the best thing which has ever happened to me. So I and Lauren started talking. I never ended up buying the courier, but then this guy, okay, he has been the face of MOBA or MMORPG community for the past 8 odd years, okay. He's the one who founded or coined the word pubstorm.
I see. Okay.
And from starting a Reddit flare just dedicated to community viewing events. So it was Barcraft was already out there, people knew about it. And there have been people who had been organically pushing it. But somewhere down the line over the course, how we become friends, we also used to discuss how to get it all together once again. Esports is booming. And spectators sports are not going anywhere. If there is a sports, there bound to be a spectators to it. And that's when we started working on Barcraft United all together. So when I did my first series of pubstorms in India, I remember Anand also hosting one in Pune. It was Replay.
Yeah.
Replay Sports Bar at Baner. And they just because of the permissions issue, they had to do the semi-finals. So Anand might remember me attending that tournament.
Yeah,
it was done with collaboration with Dragon Wars. They had a nice 1v1 session with Balaji and everyone coming in down for playing 1v1. They had Ben Ben Varghese, the Counter-Strike prodigy, who had come down to give a nice TED type talk to gamers out there and like to encourage them to take up more like different aspects into gaming. And then I had like my grand finals pop storm at Smash the very next day. And trust me, hosting viewing events in India is not a cakewalk because most of these timings are in PST for us, which means midnight only. And any fucking place you want to take in this country for a midnight tenure, there are a lot of things which happen only under the table. And the bribes can go max up to 80 to 90 Ks for tier 1 cities.
Wow, I did not know
but
that. Okay.
But then I have had my dream team, and like back then being a community based thing, we never had sponsors. Okay, brands in India still don't understand the spectator power when it comes to things. I still get blank faces when I say Pop Storm for Warcraft, but that's fine. That's how it's supposed to be for brands. But then community has been around us always. They have helped us out. And the sheer aspect of doing Pop Storms in India is like worldwide we charge a commission fee when it comes to venues. Because they're equipped. But in India it's always on 0% commission with all the venues. And that's where my dream team came in. So a group of people I call my dream team. And like this is a pseudo shout out to them. We're calling them the dream team also. Because these guys have been there since day one. Namely Mukul Shinde. He is currently the gaming evangelist for NVIDIA West. Then comes Vishal Gupta, the infamous manager of Aggressive 5 and the lead admin of ESL India. Then comes Gurdeep Singh. He has been helping me a lot with the logistics and on-ground support. Then come my Delhi boys, Abhilash and Divyansh. These guys have made sure like there is a pop storm every time there's a TI in Delhi. And you know the best part about this, even Jaishil Mistri and Devesh from More Fiction. Now Devesh is Signify, but back then he was More Fiction. Even these guys have done a lot of events in India. So back then it was for me, it was all knowledge grasped from Lauren over a Skype call. Like when I hosted a first pop storm, I've never done a pop storm in my life. It was as good as how in the school days you get those science practical journals, and like you read the practical and it just emulated in your mind. It was the same thing for me. But over the course of period, we have like mastered the art to a bit, not to 100%, but we can say like 10%. We know what to gauge and how to do it, and still it's a huge learning process for us. And last year we had 20 locations in India itself, which is a huge thing.
Definitely.
And like Global Esports partnered with BCU the last year. We did a pop storm in Mumbai where the entry fee was 2.5k. Okay. So it started from a point, but it went until 2.5k. And then you had 100 people who took up that package as well.
Wow. That's
and this is just and like when I see brands talking like there's no spending power in the country, all I think is like maybe it's time you realize you're doing it the wrong way. Because see, there are people out there who want to have a good time, enjoying their favorite sport. Like if people can if 200 people can unite together for watching this El Clasico or something like that, the same El Clasico can happen in esports as well. It's all like just break that barrier, get out, get your friends along. That's how it's supposed to be done. And somewhere down the line, like what we have realized is that the competitive community and the enthu community, they're two different pillars altogether. And this enthu community is the one which requires the most attention in this country as of now, because these are the people who buy things, who support teams. And without them, the competitive community is nothing.
Yeah, definitely.
And the more awareness if we can try and get more awareness in this enthu community about the competitive community, because we need Indian fanboys, okay? We want someone to hold a placard saying like, I love you, Pasol. Or like, Pasol, my idol. Because even I love Pasol, okay? Or like, Negi rocks. Offlane Negi, best Negi. Something like that. So like, we need Indian fanboys. We need people talking about Indian community, which is not happening out there.
Definitely.
And that's something I think, like, over the time, with all these good news and good things happening, bigger tournaments happening, we would be able to change. And then this year, as I was planning my pop storms, I also thought of applying at Red Bull to just give my one last shot, because I was thinking of switching to corporates. Because something which a lot of you still should know, I've never completed my game design on paper.
I see.
So I started up with college. I've left it. But then even Anand knows how much of a how do I frame this now? Impatient child I am when it comes to doing things.
I mean, it really comes down to what you want to do, and how you do it. It's up to you, and whatever makes it at the end of the day. And I think
We'll get the thing.
everyone has their own way, so it's perfectly alright as long as you're having fun and doing what you love.
Exactly. So right now, the only reason I love where I am right now, because I have spoken to a lot of gamers. My life has given me opportunity to interact with a lot of people, see a lot of new places, visit a lot of new gamers, and have this one-on-one talk with them, like how they want to excel in gaming, what they want to do with their lives around gaming. And trust me, like, there's no better place to learn esports for me than where I am currently, because like from people telling me nothing about esports to actually learning what they meant was actually true now. It's a whole different process for me, and I feel lucky to have whatever I've done and wherever I am. And from here right now, for me, it's like just getting this community out there along with the community. Like when you say, like, you have NA series, you have EU series, like you have the Southeast Asian community, like, there's something I want to bring that Indian community thing up. Then there might be masala to it. There's nothing without spice in India. We are the curry people. So why not?
There's no way around masala also, I think, personally.
Yeah, exactly.
Every community has its own fair share.
It's life, bro.
Masala is life, you can quote him on that.
Trust me, and the MDH of India is no other than Sid Joshi. Trust me.
Are you sure you want to get into that?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yes, trust me, bro. That guy is like my Lodi when it comes to esports. Because, like, come on, being a veteran in the League of Legends community and doing things what he has been doing for the scene, directly or indirectly, it has gone a long way.
Yeah, it has.
And trust me, he's the one whom I might look up to every day I wake up, because, he has done a lot indirectly for the community, and there are a batch of haters, and he gets back to them in his own way. So yeah, that's something I look forward to learn. So a lot of
hate, bro.
people.
Alright, so there you have it, I guess. Two amazing stories of esports in India and two great personalities sharing their fascinating stories. So, in final thoughts, so in concluding remarks, quick two-line opinions on the Indian esports scene right now and what you want in the future, like Anand.
Okay, I mean, see, Indian esports is moving ahead, and I see how I judge Indian esports is the amount of tournaments, amount of prize money currently it has, and it has gone up like prima facie in the last 3-4 years. So hopefully in the future we'll get more tournaments, more organized structure of these tournaments as well, and these organizations. And as I said before, like, we need to be mature in any industry if you want to thrive on it. So that's what I expect in the next 2-3 years.
A sustainable ecosystem is where you're going
sustainable ecosystem where anyone who has the desire or the passion of esports can come and learn how to live in that.
Definitely. And Sarvesh, a person who can actually bring that sustainable ecosystem. What are your thoughts on the esports scene right now and the future?
See, esports in India, okay, it's getting old. Two of the people whom I know started the entire esports bandwagon in this country. One got married recently, one is about to get married, okay? So it's getting old. And then you have new faces coming in, okay? This is emerging new talent, like fresh blood, impatient blood. and all they want is results. Okay, they're results hungry, which is a good thing. And with the amount of new tournaments which are popping up, new sponsors like you have Nazara, a game developer interested in esports. You have Root Mobile,
Cobx.
like a service provider interested in esports. So it's growing definitely, and that's certainly good enough of sleepless material for me just to think how things progress. And then you have the shufflers, people breaking in teams, joining in teams they broke. That's how it is, and that's what makes it special for me.
Okay, and one final thing before we take your leave. Your advice to future people who are looking to get into esports, in quick, one short wrap up, if you were to give. Anand?
What advice? So I've always thought if you have a dream, then chalk it out, put it down. Even I'm not saying I have done it yet, but just have a plan to go about things. And if you plan well, you're gonna succeed well. So just don't dive in without knowing what you are diving into. Plan it accordingly. You'll definitely find your way through it. So it's the same. It goes same for esports as long as I'm concerned.
That's nice. And Sarvesh?
My thoughts would be simple for the new crowd out there. If you love it, go for it, but don't go for it blindly. Never quit esports for studies, because not everyone is a prodigy. Because I feel academics plays a huge part in your life, and when it has to happen, it will happen. So just train hard and wait for it.
You meant never leave academics for esports, right?
Yeah, graduate.
You said esports for academics. I was like, what?
No.
It was the other
So see how I feel it is get through college, okay? Get through college, because I find it hard at times. A basic on-paper degree is all you need.
I believe in getting your basic education there and then do whatever the field you like. Because I think whatever we might say, we are in India and we've been conditioned to think and work like that. And it's not just us. Even if we don't have it, it's at least 95% of India who expects you to do it. So it's good to have it in place, because it also teaches you certain things and also kind of disciplines you in your working style, etc., going ahead in life.
And there you have it. Two amazing personalities who have spent just an hour over talking about their passion, esports, and I guess that's about it from our side at ASidCast. So, in final terms, like, share, subscribe, your comments, give us your feedback, tell us what you want to see next, and...
Bro, Bitcoin address kisko dena hai?
And that's it from our side. We'll see you next week. Thank you again for tuning in. This is Soham. And
this is Anand.
Yeah, this is Sarvesh.
And this is it. What do you say in the end? We tune out, right? Peace out.
Signing
guys.
out.
Peace out.
Peace
guys.
out. Peace out.
Peace
You
out.
can just say bye,
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Peace out. Use the right smoke.
Yep. Okay. Thank you.